So, welcome everybody. Welcome to another soulful conversation. Thank you for giving us your time. And it is my pleasure to share with you today my friend Kenya Lee, who is a nurse, a coach, an author. Welcome to Soulful Conversations, Kenya.
Thank you, Christian. It's a pleasure being here. I'm so grateful to be here to talk with you today.
Yeah, it's good to see you. It's been a while since we saw each other live in 3D.
Exactly. It has been a little bit. COVID kind of got in the way, but that's okay.
Yeah, and congratulations on the new book. That I know the work that goes into writing a book. So it's like, yes, good for you.
Thank you. It's been a work in progress. The book is comprised of journal entries over the last 18 years. So I kind of narrowed things down and told a little bit about my journey and also showed where I came from in terms of spirituality and emotionally. So you get a glimpse of how I was feeling in different excerpts. So that's been kind of helpful and insightful when I go back and look at that.
And I bow to you of like to be able to have that consistency and dedication to journal for 18 years is like I bow to you. Um, the title of the book is Path to Emotional Greatness. What inspired it?
So, but I'll tell your listeners about I had a 24-week loss pregnancy. And so that really, at that time, it really shifted me from a spiritual and a mental standpoint to kind of say, wait a minute, I need to take some evaluation of what's happening here in my life. And so that is when my journey ultimately began with the loss of the baby. And so it was a very pivotal moment for me, but I knew I was so low at the time that I had no place else to go but up and to recovery and to healing. And so that traumatic event, and as painful as it was a blessing the same, because it allowed me to heal myself, to get out of a very harmful relationship, to just position myself completely, the vulnerability that it allowed for me to be able to connect with my divine and inner self. So that's ultimately how it took place.
Yeah, and I do feel privileged that as I was able to share some of that journey of healing with you.
Oh,
But
absolutely. Yeah.
for our listeners, how did you come to reconnect with that sense of clarity, the sense of empowerment that took you back towards emotional well-being after experiencing such a heartbreaking trauma?
Hmm. Well, I tell everyone nothing happens overnight. It is a work in progress, but with consistency and persistence, you know, understanding that I am worthy and I will reach my desired place. So I set out on a journey to be consistent with my practice, both spiritually and emotionally. So taking the time to go within, Christian, I'm a very big meditator. Meditation changed my life. Breathing changed my life. So with these tools of doing it consistently, uh, things energetically shifted for me naturally, the way it does for most people that push through and take the effort. It's about us making the decision if we want to do that or not. So for me, the Trinity strategy is a strategy I talk about in the book that has three key components that just is huge. The pieces are so small to do daily, but the outcome is huge. And that is creation, which is journaling, or creating some form of art, even if you're writing down a couple of sentences every day, just to check in of where you're at, allowing that pen to be in your hand to connect with your brain and your heart. Secondly, I'm a huge advocate of affirmations. We've got to affirm and speak into existence what it is that we want, right? So for me, affirmations along with my journal. And thirdly, the meditation. The meditation for me is the bath for the brain. It's when, I can go inward, if it's nothing but for 15 to 20 minutes, and allow my brain to kind of shut down and allow those thoughts to come to be acknowledged so that I can ultimately release them, because that's what we want. We want to move out the old so that we can be receptive of the new. So doing those things consistently for me really gave me a grounding that I never, those small, they sound kind of small. You take a piece of paper out and you write and you affirm to yourself and you meditate. They sound so small, but collectively together, it has been transforming. It really has transformed my entire life.
I love that, Kenya, and I love the Trinity approach, the Trinity strategy.
Mhm.
Do you get in the book? Do you get into the your story of reconception?
I do. I do, which is another story in itself, but I do touch on it, and very well about my journey with reconception, and it was a quite a challenging one, but so rewarding. And so I was at a place where after losing the first baby, I thought, I had so many emotions. I didn't know if I was, why did this happen? Am I not worthy to be a mother? Is this, was it not supposed to happen because I can't navigate creating a good being? All these negative thoughts were
Yeah.
happening. And so after, peeling the onion back and getting to the root of what was going on with me, I was blessed enough to conceive again. And this time, the baby coming through perfect and normal and able to breathe. And that's a whole different conversation in terms of motherhood. So you can come back from these traumas. You can come back from these challenges. It looks so daunting when I was going through it. And firsthand, I'm going through it and I'm like, how am I going to do this? Like, how am I going to let this go, or, accept what I have in front of me? And it was some dark moments, but ultimately it worked out, as it does for everyone who does the work.
Yeah, I remember clearly that retreat in Indianapolis that you actually flew from LA to.
Yeah.
Um, and I remember the breathwork session when you finally got down and addressed and saw and released those inner voices of doubt and worthiness.
Yes.
And I mean, I just feel humbled that I was able to witness that, because it wasn't much later after that when you finally conceived. Do you want to take us to what happened after that?
So I came, so I came to Indiana and did the retreat. And at that point, I was so tired and worn out by the disappointments, because I had been pregnant a few times prior to her conception, my daughter that I have now, and it was ended in miscarriage. I had IVF treatments that did not go any place for me. And so when I came to that retreat, and I think I remember telling you, like, Christian, I've got to let go of this, this idea that I have to have this. It's
Sure.
killing me. I have to just let it completely go.
Yeah.
And so that was my intent, to come and say, not I want to be a mom, I want to be a mom, because that was already there. But the disappointments happened in such a way where it positioned me to say, okay, it's time to release. It's time to let go of these, these ideas and concepts. And once I let that go, it may have been 7 months later that I was able to conceive naturally
Yeah.
without IVF, without the, the hormones in my body that were just having me all over the place, but it happened naturally. So that positioning of being able to let go and being able to just say, look, here I am, and surrender to the divine
Yes.
from an emotional and spiritual perspective completely just shifted things. And it was like, okay, you understand, you understand, you have to release, you have to open your hand to be able to receive something. And so ultimately that's what happened. I think it was about 7 months, and I conceived, and I was like, okay, where do we go now from here? I was nervous through the first trimester, and I'm treading along. Everything went perfectly, everything just went wonderfully. And so that ability to let go and to really go within and heal, it aligns us for success in every dimension of our lives, whether it's business, whether it's family, whatever.
Yeah.
It starts with us first, within.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I'm so moved by that story. So I'm so grateful that you were willing to come on here and share it with others, because it's inspirational. And I'm glad you used the word surrender, because I was thinking that, but it is such a powerful, intimate word that I would have never suggested that. But I think, I mean, I know that's what you did, is that you surrendered and you gave up even the desire, the attachment to being
Yes.
a mom. And it was in that ultimate act of just letting go and surrender that the miracle came about.
The miracle came about just as easy. You would have thought, no, I mean, I had went through blood work, and anybody that's gone through a fertility journey, they understand where I'm coming from right now. The early morning ultrasounds, the injections, the blood work, the disappointments, the ups, the downs, the recalculation of meds, all of that stuff. And with all of that technology, and even flying to different regions, we had flew to India. I was trying to seek medical care outside of the US because I had exhausted funds here. So I was just trying to do whatever I could to make this happen. And all it took was for me to surrender and go within, because I had it all within me. And so many people, we don't understand that, we don't understand that we have everything we need. It's about cultivating it. So I'm humbled to be able now to help other women to navigate through these challenges and traumas, and let them know that it's possible. Anything is possible.
Mm, just so beautiful. It really touches me in such a profound way to hear you again tell me that stories and tell all of us that story. Thank you. Tell us a little bit about your nonprofit.
So the nonprofit is Faith in Girls. And just a little backstory, my daughter that was stillbirth, I named her Faith. So it is to honor her in a lot of ways. So it's Faith in Girls. And what we do is we teach women coping skills for developing, just around traumas that come about. And we are teaching self-awareness. And
Mm,
along with that, we have a Detroit chapter where we just launched this previous fall, the Women's Home Ownership Program. So it's for single women with children desiring to own a home. And we do it through a non-traditional lending way that allows working women to be able to have permanent housing, which is so big for so many to be able to call something their own and not bounce around from place to place with the children, so yeah, that's what we're doing. So
I
Faith and
love it.
Girl.
I love it, Kenya. And you know that I believe that the empowerment of women is the single most important thing that needs to happen in the world. So we're going to make sure that we provide the link so people can support your nonprofit, Faith in Girls, and get in touch with you, get your book. And tell us finally a little bit about your 30-day challenge that you have coming up soon.
So the 30-day challenge, any listener that wants to participate, you just go to the website, The Path to Emotional Greatness, and I have a free tool there where you can start on this journey. It takes actually less than 30 days to start getting the shift and feeling it. And if you don't feel it right away, people around you definitely will. So it's 30 days of doing the Trinity strategy. So being committed to doing a journal insert, affirming, and doing meditation. And if you do that for 30 days, it will show you exactly where you can go. It will give you a little preview because the best is yet to come. But just in less than 30 days, women are like, oh my God, I feel so much more confident. I feel so much better. I've been able to, engage in a different way that I wasn't prior. So I invite everyone, to get the free gift, go to the website and download your free gift. It's a journal that you can use, and it will really help you to get where you're trying to go in life.
I love it. And from the sounds of it, you've created it in a way that's manageable and doable, and that you can see change and transformation in even 30 days of taking on your approach.
Absolutely. So it's not a lot of time. It's not time consuming. It's just about doing the steps. And so in the morning, you're going to check in, and in the evening, you're going to check out, So we have to tap into what's happening with us. We have to make sure that we are driving the bus, so to speak. We are doing our own navigation. We're not allowing anybody else to take us any place. We're doing it. So you writing down, being purposeful and present, and writing down what it is that's on your heart, on your mind, affirming with your words who you are. And then doing the meditation, taking all of that in and allowing the brain to take that neuroplasticity so that we can imprint our brains differently than what we have in the past. Takes us directly to greatness emotionally.
I love it. And what a beautiful way to wrap up this conversation. Just circle back to the title of the book. And thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your experience in such a beautiful, authentic way. And thank you for, being willing to turn that trauma into an experience that resulted in not only a book, but into a project that is making a real difference in many lives. Thank you.
Thank you.